Dr. Glenn Davies for Reversal NZ and for Reverse T2 Diabetes Topor, coming to you from the greenhouse. And today we're going to talk about salt. So salt is tremendously important. Now, why is it important? Well, first of all, let's just look back through history. So first of all, the word salt comes from the Latin for celery. And the Roman soldiers were sometimes paid in salt, hence the word celery. So it indicates just how important it was through history. And another fantastic example is Mahatma Gandhi in India. One of his protests was to make salt. So the government had forbidden the making of salt. He put himself at personal risk to make salt. So it indicates throughout history that salt is tremendously important. Now, in the last 50 years, we've been telling people to have a low-fat, low-salt diet. Now, what we're encouraging you to do is to have a whole food diet, which is low in carbohydrates, either a low-carb or a ketogenic diet. Now, with these whole food diets, the only salt that you are getting is the salt that you add. Now, on a highly processed manufactured diet, people are getting too much salt because the manufacturers are putting a lot of salt into food, of course, because it makes it taste good. So how much salt do you need on a whole food diet? So it's a bit individual, but a good guide would be to have a teaspoon of salt every day. So to add a teaspoon of salt to your food across the day. Now, a lot of people, when they move to a whole food diet, find that they start getting dizzy because they're not adding enough salt. So adding around a teaspoon. If you want to get into the absolute detail of this, Dr. Di Nicolantonio has written an excellent book called The Salt Fix. So have a look at that if you want to get into the detail. Now, there are some people who are salt sensitive. About 15% of the population is salt sensitive. So when you are experimenting with the amount of salt that you add to your diet, you may want to check your blood pressure. There are a small group in the population whose blood pressure will go up when they add salt. But for a large number of people, your blood pressure will be unchanged, because when your hormones are in balance, the body will regulate the excretion of any excess salt. And salt makes the food flavoursome. So in summary, for a majority of people on a whole food diet, you will need to be adding a significant amount of salt to your diet. Around a teaspoon seems to be a good guide. If you can measure your blood pressure, do that just to make sure it hasn't caused an increase in blood pressure. But for most people, it will make no difference, because when your regulatory hormones are back under control, particularly insulin, you will excrete excess salt. So there's a brief summary about salt. Now, if you're watching this on YouTube, I'd really appreciate it if you could click the subscribe button. The channel has a picture of me, a round picture of me. It's called Glenn Davies, and it's at the New Zealand Healthcare Awards. If you're watching this on Facebook, it'd be fantastic if you could go into YouTube and subscribe to the channel. That's going to mean that a lot more people have access to this really important information. And this is important information because nutrition is at the key, or is at the basis of all wellness. And we're really wanting to get this message out about whole food, low carb nutrition. And for people that have a significant health condition like diabetes, the importance of a ketogenic diet in reversing those chronic health conditions. Thank you.